Welcome to everybody to this book launch event. I see you're nodding, that means you can hear me. My name is Alex Carpenter. I'm the director of the Worth Institute for Austrian and Central European Studies here at the University of Alberta. And we have a cohort here on campus in our Senate chambers, and then we have a cohort of guests online. So welcome to everybody. I'll keep my remarks very brief. I would just like to say how pleased and proud the Worth Institute is to support the DUSS initiative. And I've just seen the book, Antonina's book, and it is a beautiful little thing, full of beautiful words and beautiful ideas. I'm very delighted that we have been able to be part of this project and to support it. Especially delighted to see that it comes to us as the product of Antonina Tymchenko's creative vision, but also via the work of a group of dedicated translators. It's really a lovely collaborative thing to have come into being. And we're pleased to have been a part of it. And just by way of these remarks, I'd like to say too how important and I think natural it is for us at the Worth Institute to be part of these kinds of collaborative ventures, to be connected to the DUSS initiative. The ambit or the area of interest of the Worth Institute is Central Europe, but Central Europe, it's hard to imagine any aspect of Central Europe right now that is not touched by the tragedy of what is happening in Ukraine, the war, the dislocation of the people of Ukraine, and I know even just in the last year or two that I've been traveling for the business of the Worth Institute, traveling to Poland, traveling to Ukraine. I'm not there that often, but I'm there often enough to see the very significant impacts that are happening to the neighbor states of Ukraine. So in that respect, I'm very pleased that we're able to partner with and collaborate with the Canadian Institute for Ukrainian Studies and to be part of overall of this DUSS initiative. So thank you.
And I would like to echo what my colleague Alexander has mentioned on behalf of the Worth Institute, representing the Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies. My name is Natalia Hanenko-Friesen. I'm very pleased to introduce our speaker and poet, visiting fellow, digital visiting online visiting fellow in the Disrupted Ukrainian Students and Scholars Initiative here on campus. I also would like to thank our partners, in particular Worth Institute, hosting this event, for taking on and leading us in so many wonderful initiatives which have been evolving within the framework of that DUSS program that we have set up for ourselves for a couple of years. Antonina, I'm very pleased to introduce you today to our guests here. Antonina Tymchenko is a poet and a literary scholar from Kharkiv, which is in eastern Ukraine, a city suffering really tremendously these days from the invasion. She's a member of the National Writers Union of Ukraine, has a doctorate degree in literary studies, and her dissertation research focused on the work of the Ukrainian poet Volodymyr Svidzinsky. Antonina holds the position of Associate Professor at Kharkiv Kotlyarevsky National University of Art. Antonina is the author of 6 poetry books, several children's books, research monograph, and over 50 articles. She is currently based in Poland in her capacity as an adjunct professor or adjunct researcher in the Department of Ukrainian Studies in the Adam Mickiewicz University, Poznań. Again, representing so many others who are being displaced by the war. In 2023, Antonina received the DUSS Virtual Central Europe Award, sponsored by the University of Alberta's Worth Institute for Austrian and Central European Studies, which helped to fund your bilingual poetry collection, доброї, надії, Cape of Good Hope. The book, published in the summer of 2024 in Kharkiv, just a few weeks actually after the massive airstrike targeting the city's printing houses. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of that tragedy, but it has been a very painful development. The book comprises poems written over the entire span of the Russian-Ukrainian war since 2014, really, and following into the 2022 escalation. This is a woman's deeply personal perspective on the war. The collection engages with grief, trauma, resilience, and hope that resonate with many Ukrainians' wartime experiences. Recently, this past month, in September 2024, the book received the Helena Pluta-Hook Award for the best collection of philosophical poetry. We're very proud of this accomplishment, Antonina. The translators, editors who contributed to the English language part of the book are Ian Rossington, author and translator and critic, and well-known actually scholar, also a non-fiction editor of Asymptome and lecturer in the Writing and Critical Inquiry program at the University at Albany. John Wright, literary scholar and translator, was part of the work team. Kevin Rees, literary scholar. Anna Antonova, our own member of the University of Alberta, assistant lecturer in MLCS, as we know you. Anna Kononenko, Yulia Radkityanska, also students in Skovoroda Kharkiv National Pedagogical University. And a number of people are also listed as editors. As we see, this book is a product of many, many minds and of many, many people, and that makes it a more valuable contribution of yours, Antonina, to this discussion today and this presentation, book presentation today. Without much ado, I think we're very ready to turn the gears on and pass it back on to you to actually speak about the book.
Okay, good afternoon. It's good sound? Is it good sound? Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Alexander, Mrs. Natalia and Anna. Good afternoon, dear friends, members and representatives of University of Alberta, DUSS organization and the DUSS Institute, and also dear translators and editors and all of you dear participants. As we heard, I'm Antonina Tymchenko from Ukraine, and my project here has been the book of poems Ми з доброї надії, Cape of Good Hope, a bilingual book of my poems in Ukrainian, with translations into English. This book is about the feelings of home and the hope of finding home. This title has nothing to do with geographical location, rather it means a harmony, a place of finding faith, hope and love of a common one sphere, taking a step towards harmony and learning to rejoice. Some poems were written before the war and some were written during wartime. This is in essence one person's story that may resonate with destinies and feelings of many people. People who have lived ordinary lives, studied, loved, and raised families, and then they had to find out what war is. This book is also an expression of my gratitude to God, who always supports us and gives us hope. They are all standing on the threshold of the future, praying that it will be peaceful, that no one will die. We all stand on the Cape of Good Hope. This book consists of my poems in Ukrainian, as well as a section of translations in English. It seems to me that now, more than ever, it is important to draw the attention of the whole world to Ukrainian issues, to emphasize the importance of Ukrainian culture, to remind the world that Europe isn't standing apart from it, that now a terrible danger is hanging over it. English is the language of international communication, and that's why I will be happy if my poems strike a chord for foreign readers. I'm extremely grateful of the University of Alberta's DUSS program and this institute studies for making my project happen. So in March, June this year, we implemented this project, and finally the book was published in a run of 500 copies. From July to October this year, several presentations of the book took place in Ukraine and Poland. In September, the book was awarded the Halina Pluta-Huk Poetry Prize, and we have sent the books to libraries and Ukrainian communities in Ukraine, as well as in some cities in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Poland, and Germany. Let me introduce the team who worked on the book. These are the editors Olga Taranenko, Anna Antonova, and John Wright. Olga Taranenko, my teacher, my dear teacher, poet, editor, member of the National Writers' Union of Ukraine, head of the Kharkiv Regional Literary Studio, teacher of many young Kharkiv poets. Anna Antonova, you know, thank you very much. And maybe, Anna, could you tell something, some few words about this project, your feelings about it?
Thank you, Antonina. I just want to say that it was really an honor to work on this project. It was also a pleasure to work with so many great contributors. I believe that this kind of poetry really resonates now with many Ukrainians all over the world and also in Ukraine. This is what so many of us are thinking and feeling right now. And while we were working on the translations, it was important for us to highlight, of course, your own vision, but also unique personal styles of every single translator and contributor. And I think that this multiplicity of voices, that's what this project needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much also. And John Wright, literary scholar, translator, assistant professor of the Barnett Slavic Department, Columbia University, USA. John, could you tell us a few words about this project?
Of course. Glad to see everybody here. I'm glad you're all here. And all I can say is that before I knew about this project, I had learned a lot about other Ukrainian poets from my association with Antonina, and was really glad to finally learn something about this this tradition and its very, very strong poets. And when I worked on these translations at first, I didn't know that they would end up ever being part of a dual language edition like this. But I'm very pleased that they're here and honored to have these translations included in the book alongside Antonina's work and the work of all the other translators. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And other, my dear translators, Kevin Rees and Ian Ross Singleton. Kevin, a scholar, translator, PhD, lecturer, University of North Carolina, Greensboro, USA, and also the author of the book Celestial Hellscapes, Cosmology as the Key to the Strugatsky Science Fictions. Kevin, could you say something?
So I'd say, like John, I saw these poems before I knew they'd be part of a project. If memory serves, Antonina sent me a few imagining with the request that I might translate one or two, but I found that I couldn't stop. I think I translated, at least did first drafts of all the translations in a single day. I was kind of swept up by them. And for me, this effort, a lot of us in American Slavics are kind of constantly under the dark cloud of the war, and feel like there's not a lot we can do. That we can't make kind of like the kind of concrete efforts that maybe we'd like to prefer, and so translating Ukrainian poetry is something that we can do. And I, for one, as a Slavist, am trying to move as explicitly into Ukrainian literature and culture as I can at this sort of like middle to late stage of my career. And I'm really honored to be involved.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kevin. And Andrew Singleton, scholar, translator, professor of the University at Albany, and the author of the novel Two Big Differences, and the editor of Asymptote Journal. Ian, could you tell us something?
I'm also honored to be here, and it's the same as with John and Kevin, who I met through this through Antonina. I did not realize that these translations that I started on were going to end up in such a venue as this, in such a forum as this, and I'm really very proud and honored to be a part of this project. And just to say also that the way that Antonina introduced me to John and Kevin, but also just to a whole world of Ukrainian that opened up to me from learning from her as a teacher. And I will be forever in your gratitude, Antonina, for opening up the Ukrainian universe to me. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I have two much more translators, Anna Kononenko and Julia Rakityanska. They are in Kharkiv. They are absent today from Kharkiv Grigorij National Pedagogical University. But with us, Victoria Gracholska. The book was also designed by a wonderful Ukrainian artist, Victoria Gracholska. This wonderful picture is her picture. And this is a painting, Lighthouse at Sea. And Victoria, could you say us a few words?
Hello, I'm glad to be here today. And I want to say that this cover is more than just a cover. It's a synergy of our creative worlds coming together to form something greater and individual parts. I'm delighted that my art can serve as a part of this grand poetic mosaic, inspiring readers and opening them to new emotions. And I'm grateful to Antonina for her trust and for the opportunity to be part of such wonderful project. This is a very great moment for me as an artist, and I hope that our readers and viewers will feel the energy we have poured into this collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you so much also. Thank you. And I see Yulia Rakityanska. Thank you so much. Yulia is currently a master's student at the Faculty of Foreign Languages of Kharkiv National Pedagogical University. Yulia, could you say us about?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm glad to see you, and really I'm grateful for you to take part in this project. And really, I truly love the poems in this book because they really capture feeling of home, hope, and like this resilience in a way that speaks to the heart. And it was my first experience as translator, and really it was a pleasure for me to take part in this work. And actually, the poems they are really great in that way that because of the fact that they were written not only before the war, but during the war, and just all this theme and all these facts and the title actually it reminds me that really we can stand strong and believe in peace. That's why I really appreciate it, and I'm honored to be a part of this project. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear, thank you. Okay, and I think that now I and my dear translators would like to read to you a few poems from our book, and we hope that the poems will resonate with your souls. Okay. First of all, Kharkiv, our dear Kharkiv. Місто – покинута лялька зі скляними очима. Не тікайте налякано, сіли б, спочили, поговорили б разом, як бути з містом, щоб загоділи траси словом, змістом, як постачати Рими в дальні квартали, щоб на дротах і ринвах кріга розтала. Й місто світає. Слухаю, українською вірші читає, вірші Свідзінського. Kevin.
The city is an abandoned doll with glass eyes. Don't run away in fear. You should sit, rest a bit. We should have a talk together about what to do with the city so that the freeways would hum with word, with content. About how to deliver rhymes to the outer suburbs so that the ice would melt on the power lines and gutters. And dawn is breaking in the city. I can hear it's reading poetry in Ukrainian, Svidzinsky's poetry.
Їду до тебе поїздом, який уявила. Тут жінка з немовлям, плачуть обоє, і я плачу. Хлопчики з песиком радісно скачуть, і серце мені скаче. Їде дівчина, що збирала на тепловізор. Їде Господь-провідник і всім роздає провізію. Їде поет 90-річний сліпий із евакуації додому. Руки судомить, сонце у комі, майже 2 роки так. Із ночі за вікнами виринув медевак. Бог зупиняє поїзд, там він більше потрібен, як вода для риби. На руках переносить поранених у вагон. Усі вони називають імення його. Поїзд рушає, і він на підніжку застрибує той, хто став для риби водою, для води рибою. Втомлений, зблідлий, сяє, як теплий південь. Знов я до тебе їду.
I'm coming to you. By train, the one I imagined. Here's a woman with an infant. Both are crying. I'm crying too. A boy and a dog joyfully hop, as does my heart. There goes a girl collecting donations for a thermal camera. There goes Lord God, the conductor, giving everybody provisions. There goes a 90-year-old poet, blind, returning from evacuation. Hands cramped. The son's in a coma. It's almost 2 years like this. From the night beyond the windows, a medevac emerges. God stops the train. He's more needed there. Like water for fish, he carries wounded onto the train, who all say his name. The train moves and he leaps onto the footboard. He who became water for the fish is fish for the water. Tired, pale, shining like the warm south. Again, I'm coming to you.
Берези куінчі ідуть по линялих покосах шукати, де землі привітні і чиста вода, бо тут хазяйнує тривога настирливим гостем. Моя, самовпевнена, миршава, немолода. Чим старше стаю, тим страхи постають сміливіше. Тулюсь до берези, та хто з нас кому поводир? І тільки молитва, і тихі безхитрісні вірші, ковток води.
Wenji's birches, going over the faded grasses, to find where the earth is welcoming, the water pure. For here reigns alarm, like a wearisome guest, alarm that's pitiful, no longer young, self-assured. The older I get, the braver my fears become. Press toward the birches. Which of us is whose commander? and only prayers and quiet, uncomplicated poems. A gulp of water.
За смагою порепаних колон, магнолії непевними руками, тебе тримає літо, й цей полон, немов корали, наростав роками. Гора манірно повела плечем, шифон зорі обняв гарячу шкіру, таких бажають і таким не вірять. Вночі вона заходиться плачем, ти спиш на дворі, схлипує гора, але не чуєш, потонув у небі, в його нутрі ти крихітна амеба, поміж зірками, як безвільний раб. А на світанні схопишся, живий і вільний, і здивований безмежно, і під пташине радісне сольфеджіо ти вранішні читаєш молитви.
By means of sunburnt columns, cracked and rent, and doubtful fingers of magnolia leaf, the summer takes you. This imprisonment took years to grow, like any coral reef. The mountain shrugs and sighs affectedly, her hot skin covered with the sun's chiffon, desired always, never counted on. By night she weeps and sobs convulsively. You sleep outside. The mountain wails and raves, but you hear nothing, sinking far inside the belly of the sky, an undivided cell among the stars, a will-less slave. Yet you leap up, alive at light of day, then, struck by boundless awe and newly free, on hearing birds' solfege of morning glee, you pick the prayer book up and start to pray.
Я не в'їжджала в Єрусалим, не говорила слово до людей, і поглядом сумирним або злим не зустрічав уважний іудей. А він молився, наївно, як людина, і як Господь усе напевно знав. Ідуть століття спраглі, як хвилини, а чаша не мина і не мина, то п'ятниця щодня, то середа, то зраджую його, то розпинаю. Лише любов, яку мені віддав, у серці не минає і не минає.
I didn't go to Jerusalem, didn't speak the word to the people, and the attentive Jew didn't meet me with either a humble or a hostile glance. But he prayed naively, like a human, and, being the Lord, probably knew it all anyway. Centuries pass, hungry like minutes, and the cup has not passed and has not passed. It's Friday every day, or it's Wednesday. Either I betray him or I crucify him. There's just the love that he gave me that doesn't pass by and doesn't pass by my heart.
Наїздились, находились, наслухались, надивились, намучились, насварились, намерзлися, ось і все. І треба відпочивати, але не прибрана хата, але розкидані речі, й вечеряти час до речі, та хмари небо несе. Йду я варити супчик, а ти витирати пил, і зливи за вікнами купчаться, всі дні на один копил, і мрії про мир розстали, війна наяву. А я порізала палець, реву.
Tired by traveling, walking, listening, seeing, suffering, quarreling, freezing, that's all. And it's high time to take a rest, but the house isn't done. But things are scattered, and it's dinner time, by the way. And the sky's full of clouds, and I'm going to cook soup, while you will do the dusting, and the downpours outside the windows gather. All days are alike, and dreams of peace have melted away. The war is not in a dream, and after I cut my finger, I'm crying.
Thank you. And last one. А нам було би простіше. Море, ти, я, аквамарин, риби запах огидний, рукава закачані, ноги босі, пісок у волоссі і досі. Крізь лінзу води без спотворень видно, що в серці моєму з коренем. Напинаю вітрила залатані, сонце кіт рудий, рибу море притиснув лапою. Промінець гуляє у твоїй бороді, ти лагідний дім. Іду назустріч воді, і диво в мені радіє. Мис доброї надії.
And that would be much simpler for us. Just the sea, you and I and the aquamarine, and that foul fishy smell. Sleeves rolled up, our feet bare, and that sand in our hair is still there. Through the lens of the water you see very well into this humbled heart that at last has found peace. And I hoist the patched sail. The red cat of the sun grabs the fish of the sea by its tail. Rays of light flit about on your chin, snuggling up to your beard-covered skin. I walk down where the water rolls in as this miracle leaps in me so on the Cape of Good Hope.
Thank you, dear all, so much. And of course, in the some last words about my dear publisher, Alexander Savchuk, who is in Kharkiv today, scholar and philosopher, winner of many books forums, who works for the development of Ukrainian culture and who is even now in wartime Kharkiv in Eastern Ukraine. Thank you, Alexander, for this beautiful book. Thank you. Dear all, thank you so much.
Can we ask questions?
Please? Yeah. No, please.
Thank you so much for your presentation or presentations and readings. What strikes me as someone who works in the area of cultural anthropology is this is very much of a teamwork. And I have a very simple question for you, whether you had gathered as team all the time all together, and whether you have enjoyed that spirit of sharing stories and words as much as we just did right now here, and whether you found that to be a moving experience.
Yes, this team is a team of my friends and my co-creators, and I hope that they will be with me in future, and maybe we will have some other project with them. And this project really gave us very big hope, and especially for me, it gave very big hope to be published, to be heard, and to be in literature, even in this horrible war time.
Thank you.
I think it remains then for me to thank you. Antonina, thank you so very much for this, and thank you everyone online for participating. Thanks to everyone who's here with us at the University of Alberta. Again, it's been, I will echo everyone else's sentiments. Again, it's been a great privilege, a great honor to have been some small part of this, and so wonderful. We're very pleased to have a copy of the book here as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, friends. Thank you.